The following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Reaction Monday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, we'll be joined by MLB.com's Jim Callis, the upcoming draft, and some local prospects, some names of note we will discuss. Also, Josh Corey with the Tennessee Titans. He was kind of instrumental in the girls' flag football, and the Titans behind that. His reaction to how that went and what is next. Also, our Daily Braves report, reaction to the NBA. The Grizzlies are done. What happened to Game 7s yesterday? Hockey as well. A lot to get to on Reaction Monday. Spring fling just around the corner. So let's get right to it. The Hall of Famer Patton and the Sun-Job Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao. Gentlemen, happy Monday.
It's Monday. We'll talk about happy later, I guess.
Yes.
That's folks like good morning.
Good morning.
No. Good would have been 10:30. It's 7. So no, it's not working out. Mo, what's going on, man?
It's Monday, like you said. It's Monday. So
That it is.
adjust, adapt, overcome, baby.
Survive in advance.
Survive in advance. Yeah.
that is what we are trying to do, as well as a ton of high school baseball and softball teams, Mo, across the state.
And some college softball teams, as NCAA field was announced yesterday. So
yeah, we've got Marion Angus coming on the show Wednesday to break that down. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a heck of a week put together already, Mo. And we're starting off strong.
We are. We starting today, actually, as JP said in the open, we've got Jim Callis with MLB.com coming in here in the next segment. We've got Josh Corey later. Some pretty good stuff, and it don't stop. Tomorrow we've got Teresa Walker and Chip Walters. Walker and Walters. Say that
There
3
you
times
go.
fast.
The next tag team title champs.
Mm-hmm. And then again, Heather Williams and Marion Angus on Wednesday.
That's right.
So it's going to be a good week.
It
if we can just get through today.
No question. Well, our top story opening kickoff comes from Knoxville, as it was announced earlier, just moments ago, really, that Tennessee and Virginia will meet in 2023 in their football opener in Nashville at Nissan Stadium.
Labor Day weekend, right?
It is September 2nd. I assume that's the first weekend in September.
Sure, we'll ride with
Labor
that.
Day.
What is that? Is that a Thursday night?
It is a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Saturday, September 2nd. It's going to be a big one. So they were originally scheduled to start the season in Provo against BYU, but this will replace that. So don't have to go out to Provo anymore, and no Big 12 opponent.
Yeah, ACC instead. That's interesting. That's an interesting matchup, I think. They played Virginia Tech a few years back. At Bristol, I guess.
Bristol.
Was that the last time they played? It's kind of surprising that they don't play those two teams any more often than they do, but that'll move the needle a little bit, I would think.
Yeah, and Virginia being a team that Tennessee doesn't see often.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's always unique as well. They've played twice before at Nissan Stadium. They beat Bowling Green in 2015, 59-30, and Wyoming August 31st, 2002, 47-7, in which 6 years later Wyoming returned the favor. So,
Well, they've played twice at Nissan Stadium in the regular season.
right. They've obviously the Music City Bowl twice now since I guess they played there twice, yeah, including this past year, but we won't talk about that.
No, let's not.
And these two teams have not played one another since 1991, Mo.
The good old days.
That's crazy. So anyway, that's big stuff. Exciting for Tennessee as they'll be taking on Virginia again in Nashville, 2023. Let's do this. Let's find out what happened over the weekend, Mo, because there was a lot that went on both high school, college, and professional, and we'll find out what's going to happen today. Big schedules in the high school world, so pay attention. We'll send it back to JP for today's rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today. All right, here we go. We got a busy one, as you would expect, over the weekend. High school baseball results from Friday. It was MUS 6, Lipscomb Academy 5, Trinity Christian 6-5 winners over Davidson Academy. Saturday saw Clarksville Academy 3-1 winners over Notre Dame, and it was Lipscomb Academy 6-5 over MUS. On Sunday, Riverdale defeated Smyrna 9-4. All postseason action as spring fling just around the corner. Softball the same here. Friday action, Franklin over Centennial 6-3. It was Franklin 10-8 over Centennial. Loretto defeated Summertown 5-1. On Saturday, Zion Christian defeated South Haven Christian 11-1. And Sunday, Summertown took out Loretto 12-1. Boys soccer on the pitch from the weekend. It was Independence 2-0 over Columbia. Harpeth 5-0 over Republic. Hendersonville 4-2 over Station Camp. Laverne 3-1 over Smyrna. Stem Academy over Merrill Hyde 8-0. It was Murfreesboro Central Magnet 1-0. Richland 4-1 over Fayetteville. Oakland 1-0 over Siegel. And Watertown 3-1 over Smith County. College baseball over the weekend. Tennessee took 2 or 3 from Georgia. Vandy the same from Arkansas. Anchor down, baby. Anchor down. It was MTSU. Yeah, it was. The MTSU 3-0 over Rice. In their series, Lipscomb took 2 or 3 from Eastern Kentucky. Belmont swept Eastern Illinois in a 3-game set. And Tech, that is Tennessee Tech, 2-1 in their series over Austin P. SEC tournament, Missouri took out Tennessee down in Gainesville. I believe that was Friday evening. And Braves over the weekend lost to the Padres 11-6 Friday. Got a win on Saturday 6-5 and fell in extra innings, I believe, Sunday 7-3. It was the Sounds falling to the Jacksonville Friday, but got wins Saturday and Sunday to win yet another series. NBA action, the Grizzlies season came to an end in Game 6 against Golden State in San Francisco, 110-96 the final there. Golden State moves on. They will take on the Dallas Mavericks, who defeated the Phoenix Suns last night in Game 7. Nashville shut out in Houston 2-0 over the weekend. And on the schedule today, high school baseball. Ravenwood at Brentwood. Colioca is at Eagleville. East Nashville welcomes Community, Clay County, and East Robertson. Stratford travels to Fords. Gordonsville hosts Joe Burns. Lebanon welcomes Hendersonville. Clarksville at Henry County. Fairview, Loretto, Mount Juliet hosts Beach. Montgomery Central and Murfreesboro Central Magnet. It is Richland and Moore County today. Dixon County at Rossview. Rockville at Stewart's Creek. Centennial at Summit. Page at Upperman. Sequatchie County at Watertown. And Giles County at White House Heritage. This is round 1 of the region tournament. And region finals on Wednesday and sectionals on Friday. All with the winners on Friday making it up to... Is that right? You got to win Friday, right? So win or go home. Softball, the same here. Watertown at Bledsoe County today. Hume-Fogg at Creekwood. Dixon County, Clarksville. Community at East Nashville. Harpeth, Father Ryan. Forest versus West Whites Creek, rather. Summit is at Franklin. Cheatham County at Loretto. Mount Juliet hosting Beach. Montgomery Central will be at Murfreesboro Central Magnet. Centennial at Nolensville. Stewart's Creek at Siegel. Rockville at Smyrna. Henry County at Springfield. Wilson Central at Station Camp. Summertown hosting Harpeth. Eagleville at Wayne County. and Monterey is at Westmoreland. On the pitch, Seagulls taking on Laverne today, and the Braves begin another series with the Brew Crew back in Atlanta. Ian Anderson on the mound tonight, 640 Bally Sports Southeast. That is your Monday Rundown. It is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy.
It's going to be a big week for high school sports.
That Brave series, by the way, is in. Hello.
It's in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee?
Yes.
Sorry,
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention.
All right.
Anyway, Braves at Brewers. Ian Anderson, Brady Peralta. Should be a good one. Big week for high school sports. We'll talk about it later in the show. Next, we have Jim Callis of MLB.com joining us. So stick around here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls. Glad to have you guys with us here as we continue rolling on this Monday edition of Main Street Sports Today. Big news last week when kind of came out of nowhere. Learned that Kumar Rocker would be pitching in a independent league ahead of the Major League Baseball draft. And we had a brief conversation about that and sparked the idea to bring on Jim Callis of MLB.com. Actually, I believe Mo had the idea beforehand, but it's okay. But now we have Jim Callis of MLB.com again on the show with us. Jim, how are you?
I'm doing good, Chris. And Maurice does deserve credit because he called to see if we could talk about what might happen with Kumar. And I told him I was kind of surprised we hadn't heard anything yet. And then I think the next day the news came out. So we got to give Maurice all the credit for making that happen.
Mo made Kumar sign an Indie League contract. Way to go, Mo! Congrats.
Well, we don't have to give Mo all the credit, but I do appreciate Jim kind of getting that chronology straight. So yeah, because Jim had rolled out a first round mock on Thursday, I believe, and there's not just Kumar that's local flavor in that mock draft, but also at that point, there was no mention, no sign of Kumar Rocker. And I just think that's really a fascinating sidelight of this draft when it does take place. And at the time, Jim and I had talked Thursday afternoon after the show, again, obviously Kumar hadn't done anything yet. He was kind of, I don't want to say persona non grata, but he was certainly laying low. Jim, what have you been able to find out over the last 3 days, I guess, since you and I talked about that?
Yeah, everybody suspected all along when the news came out that he wasn't going to go back to Vanderbilt, that Kumar would pitch an independent ball at some point this year, because it's a very controlled atmosphere. Obviously, he and his advisors at the Boras Corporation, if they want him to pitch 3 innings on X day, they can do that. It's you can kind of lay out the schedule, and the indie ball team's gonna be glad to have you. And I don't know if he's officially joined the team yet. He's not really going to pitch, I don't think, until toward the end of the month. And I think the plan is for him to make about a half dozen appearances between when he joins the Tri-City Valley Cats in the Frontier League and the draft, which is much later now. They've moved it to the All-Star game the last 2 years. It won't be until July 17th. So there's time for him to go out and show what he can do. And I mean, there's 2 things Kumar, teams want to see out of Kumar. One, how he looks on the mound, because we haven't seen him pitch since the College World Series last year. He was pitching on short rest his last 2 starts, and he looked a little bit gassed. He wasn't at his best in his final game against Will Bednar in Mississippi State. And then 2, the question is, what exactly is his medical health status? He agreed to a $6 million deal with the Mets as the 10th overall pick in the draft. And the way that the system works in baseball, it's not really player friendly. You get drafted, and then you take a physical after the draft with the team's doctor, and nobody knows what the physical revealed, but it revealed enough for the Mets to just walk away. And they literally offered him in the end, guys, $0. They did not want him to sign. They wanted to get, he was a 10th pick last year. When he didn't sign, they got the 11th pick in this year's draft, and they didn't want him after they did the physical. They just wanted to get the pick back this year.
That is incredible. I mean, seriously, even with Kumar Rocker being who Kumar Rocker is and the pitcher that he's been throughout his career, I think I would have just taken the year. So apparently they think this is a long-term thing, and I would be shocked if it is. Looking forward to finding out what Kumar is able to do. Do you feel like he is a first rounder in 2022?
It all depends on what he shows when he gets back on the mound and what that medical result is. I'm sure there'll be some teams. The Mets saw something that scared them, and they just ran away, and they didn't want him anymore. And so, which makes you think it was more than, say, he needs Tommy John surgery. They think he's going to need Tommy John surgery, and he'll be back in a year. And we saw Walker Buehler come out of Vanderbilt with a bad elbow, and he needed Tommy John surgery, and now he's a star. So and it's weird. The whole weird thing about this, guys, is that nobody knows exactly what it was. It's not, and to their credit, I mean, the Mets didn't really come out and say anything. Their owner kind of gloated about it after the fact, which was not a good look. But the Mets didn't say, hey, it's the shoulder, or it's this, or it's that. So nobody knows exactly what we're dealing with, only that the Mets thought it was serious enough long-term that they didn't want any part of signing him, and they'd rather get the pick back. But yeah, I mean, this is a draft where almost all the best college pitchers have been hurt, all the first-round candidates. It's crazy. The industry as a whole is a little nervous about taking high school pitchers in the first round. So, I mean, and these are 2 very big ifs. If Kumar Rocker gets back on the mound and pitches like he's capable of, and if the medical situation does not scare teams like it did the Mets last year, then yeah, I think he could go in the middle of the first round. But we haven't seen him pitch since last June. And again, at some point, like, I don't know if he'll undergo a physical for teams before the draft, teams, I guess, will get available the results of the physical from the Mets. I don't know how they're going to handle the rest of it, but that's the big question, and we just don't know the extent of what it is. And I will say from my experience, you get teams have radically different interpretations of the same medical results. You might have one team where their doctors are very conservative and they're like, we want no part of this. We're worried. Don't sign the guy. Another team might say, hey, that's normal wear and tear. We like the guy. But like I said, I have no idea. I've heard so many different rumors about so many different parts of Kumar's arm. I have no idea what's true, what's not true. I guess only the Mets higher ups really know. But that's going to be the big thing. If he goes out and pitches well, but the medical is still concerning, that's going to affect him as well.
Jim Callis of MLB.com with us here on Main Street Sports today. Jim, obviously you've been in this game a lot longer and at a lot higher level than I have, but what's worse than Tommy John surgery that just sends a team running the way the Mets did?
Yeah, and again, this is just me guessing. I don't know.
Right, sure. This is
Tommy John wouldn't scare you so much. There's a number of pitchers who are going to go in the first 2 rounds this year who had Tommy John, and people feel, I think pretty good. The guys come back for Tommy John, and the rehab makes them stronger, and they're better than ever. The success rate of Tommy John surgery is very, very good. It could be, some kind of shoulder tear. It could be something. I have no knowledge. It could be
spitballing.
Maybe he has a degenerative condition in his back that they think is going to be a long-term issue. It could be just about anything. I would think if it were Tommy John that they probably would have been okay with it, or at least made him a reduced offer, not $0. But I have no idea. But it obviously was something to where instead of trying to find a middle ground, like, okay, he's hurt, let's find a discounted deal that makes sense for both teams. Because honestly, if you could have found a middle ground, it would make sense rather than Kumar having to come back into next year's draft. And the Mets didn't want any part of it. So it's just bad. And then that's why it's so weird, because you can only guess and speculate. And that's why I was saying, even if he goes out and pitches well, you're still going to want to look at those medical results and determine, your doctors are going to have to determine, whether they think it's a good risk or not. But like I said, it might in the end not be something that other teams would consider that serious, because again, you get very divergent medical opinions on guys, just depending from team to team.
Another guy, speaking of pitchers who haven't pitched a whole lot, another guy that a lot of folks in this area are interested in is the guy that you got at number 19 in your mock from last week, Blade Tidwell from Tennessee. You've got him to the Athletics at number 19, had some shoulder issues up earlier in the year. But man, he's been pretty much a rocket through his collegiate career. And had he not been saddled with, the COVID situation at the high school level as a senior coming out of Loretto, it was sounding like he may have gone out of high school. But what are you hearing? What are you liking about him now that he's back throwing for UT?
Yeah, he's a little tricky to evaluate too, because he had the shoulder issues at the beginning of the year and missed the first 6 weeks, and they kind of eased him back into the SEC rotation. Tennessee, best team in the country, obviously off to a great start this year. He really hasn't had like a dominant outing where he's gone out like, say, 6 innings, 3 hits, struck out 10. He's got good stuff. It's plus fastball. He can show you plus slider. It's a good body. I think if he finishes strong, he probably goes even higher than 19. Because like I said, this draft just does not have healthy college pitchers. There just aren't many of them. But he also, at the same token, I think does need to perform better in SEC play down the stretch, or maybe he slides a little bit too. It's crazy how many pitchers there are, especially on the college side this year, who were potential first-round picks who have been sidelined for one reason or another this spring. And at least in Tidwell's case, he's healthy and able to pitch now. A lot of these guys aren't going to be able to pitch before the draft.
And another UT player, obviously, you have in the first round Jordan Beck out of Hazel Green, just south of the state line from where we are. And, Jordan Beck has been a catalyst for this great Tennessee team, and you have him currently, I believe, at the number 24 spot to the Red Sox. Is this because of something he has done this year, or obviously he was selected in the 14th round out of high school, so he's just kind of increased his stock through college play?
Yeah, he's one of the better, I think, all-around athletes on the college side. And, I think, he was better than a 14th round pick out of high school. He just wasn't going to be real signable. And the Red Sox actually took him out of high school too. I mean, he gets compared a lot to Hunter Renfroe, who had some, really intriguing physical tools. And then, like he had to learn how to kind of control the strike zone and make better swing decisions. And he did that as a junior and took off. And that's kind of what Beck has done too. Like, I think there's still some swing and miss concerns, but not as much as there were coming into the year. So I think he's really helped himself, and he might go higher than that. I mean, it'll be interesting because I know in that mock draft I had 6 high school pitchers in the first round, which is a lot because the industry is generally wary of the risk with high school pitchers. So, I think Beck, I think he could go, even as say 10 picks higher than that, really, when all is said and done. And I wound up leaving him out, but the other Tennessee outfielder, Drew Gilbert, I think could fit in that kind of 20 to 35 range as well. I think Drew Gilbert's going to go pretty good too.
Jim Callis of MLB.com with us here on Main Street Sports today, and he's got a hard out, and that's unfortunate because I could talk to Jim for hours, but Jim, we appreciate you taking some time with us. And your mock is going to disappoint a lot of Vanderbilt fans because you've got Drew Jones at number 1 to the Orioles.
Yeah, he's not coming to Vanderbilt, but they have a good recruiting class. They might get some pretty good pitchers, so they might have about 3 or 4 potential first rounders for down the line coming in this fall. So they'll be okay. Tim Corbin Company will do okay.
But Drew Jones won't be one of them.
Drew Jones is not coming to Vanderbilt. No.
Jim, thank you so much for taking some time with us. We appreciate it so much, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. That is unfortunate because I was certainly looking forward to seeing him play.
You're not looking forward to seeing him play. You're looking forward to bum rushing Andrew in the stands again like you did down in Mobile.
Listen, I don't have to do that anymore. I
y'all
did
are
it the one
boys?
time. You got a picture of it. That's all I needed. Andrew Jones cared of what I had to say for 13 seconds. So that was enough for me. My life made. Come back with us. We'll talk about the Braves, who Andrew Jones was on the broadcast yesterday on Peacock. So, yeah, we'll talk about that and the Padres series, unfortunately, and what to expect in this Brewer series. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, comes back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Mo, you know, I'm always on the ledge when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. And I just get frustrated sometimes. But I feel like my frustration's completely justified after this weekend because the Braves they could have swept this series. No reason not to have been able to sweep this series. And between Matt Olson and Will Smith, we don't.
Well, and here's the problem. One of those, I think you can write off as just a couple of glitches. I mean, because they won a game Saturday despite Matt Olson defensively, and yesterday it just didn't work out that way. But one of those, you know, for everything that Will Smith did in the postseason last year, he still drove us to drink during the regular season. So, I mean, I guess you just got to get Will to the postseason to get the good Will Smith. I don't know, but it's frustrating. And to me, what's frustrating about it is I mean, what are they? They're 16 and 18, I guess, or whatever it is. But you just feel like there's better play on that roster than what you're seeing. And I don't know what it is. It's just baseball. I don't know. But that's what's frustrating. You just feel like they're better than what they've shown. And, you know, you're getting ready to go to Milwaukee here. This is a team that you split a series with earlier this year, I think. I mean, I'm just kind of perplexed to try to talk about these guys, to be honest.
Well, Sunday was just an unfortunate turn of events. I mean, you know, you had a fantastic outing from Kyle Wright.
Mm-hmm.
The team as a whole gave up just 3 earned runs, 2 of those from, you know, the guy that you've got pitching in extra innings for whatever reason, Jackson Stevens. I don't quite understand why.
Well, you've pointed this out. You've made this point that sometimes it's almost like Snitker concedes a game.
And he does it a little too often.
And I mean, now I know you can't throw Mentor Matzik every night. I get that. But and I also get that if you've got a pitcher on the roster that can't get major league hitters out, then he doesn't need to be on the roster. But at the same time, in the 3-3 ball game in extra innings, I'm not sure why Jackson Stevens is out there. Now, having said that, I didn't get to watch the game because it was on Peacock, which is another story entirely. But I think for the most part, I'm glad I didn't. But
Matzik did not pitch in on Saturday, so I know he was available.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's an issue with Matzik but he didn't pitch the entire series. Did not
Matzik
see the
didn't
ball.
pitch at all.
Did not pitch Friday.
Diego.
Yeah, did not pitch at all. Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But Jackson Stevens did for whatever reason. And I mean, honestly, he didn't pitch poorly. I mean, for what he is, but he's not a guy that you're going to put in high leverage situations.
Well, apparently he is.
Well, the former Mexican Indie League player. This is literally Jake. What's his name? JP from Major League. Jake
wow,
Taylor.
thing.
Taylor,
No,
yeah. The catcher's Taylor, Jake Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They called him up out of the out of the Mexican Indie leagues, and now he's pitching high leverage situations for the defending world champions for some unknown reason.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man, because Tyler Matzik was out of baseball at one time. So
I understand. What I'm saying is I don't understand if Tyler Matzik's available, why Jackson Stevens is pitching 2 innings in a game in a rubber match when you need to win a series against a good baseball team like the San Diego Padres. But yet here we are.
Yeah, here we are. I mean, the list of decisions that make you go, coming out of the Braves dugout is lengthy.
Yeah, no question.
And like I said, I'm just glad I didn't have to watch it yesterday.
So let me tell you, I didn't watch the whole broadcast because I was otherwise occupied. But first off, being a 10:30 start time was weird. Second of all, JP, they produced this thing like it was the Little League World Series. They had their favorite players when they were growing up, why they picked their jersey number, like literally.
How many games are they doing this year?
Too many?
Yeah, more than they should be.
So this is not something that they're just doing like a one-off type of thing. Huh. Okay.
But Andrew Jones was on the broadcast.
Yeah.
And that was interesting.
Here's the thing, though, Chris. This is a platform that doesn't do a lot of sports. So I guess they're assuming that their viewers don't do a lot of sports. So somewhat like
odd.
The Little League World Series. It may be odd, but, they feel like they're introducing some of their viewers to some of these guys. So
they very well may be. I mean, I thought
it's
it was
odd, but I don't necessarily hate it.
I just wish that it were on Bally as well.
So
local fans could watch it. Go figure. That's all I wanted. Wanted to, this particular series that's upcoming, Mo, with the Brewers, it feels like, you've got the back half of the rotation in this series, which is not exactly what you want.
Not against these guys. And
especially after you got really good stuff out of your top 3 guys, despite the scores. Max Fried pitched fantastic. Kyle Wright pitched fantastic. Charlie Morton
had the best start he's had. Yeah, without question.
So, and obviously ended up winning that game, but Kenley Jansen got the win. But you've got Ian Anderson, and then, up against Adrian Hauser, we have TBA, because we don't know who the 5th starter is on this team. It literally could be anybody. Spencer Strider didn't pitch, for in the San Diego series. It could be him.
It could be Bryce Elder coming back up. Or Tucker Davidson.
Kenley Jansen, who is 2-0 on the year, has 2 wins since his last save. Maybe we just throw him out there to start.
Well, I didn't quite understand him coming in the 8th on Saturday, and I was really I did not see him getting an inning plus, but obviously it worked out. But again, Snitker manages like he's managing a minor league team, and he's a World Series champion now, and there's nothing you can do with him but live with it.
What, obviously after this series, you've got to go to Miami. Then you've got Philadelphia, Miami at home before Arizona and Colorado on the road. Then you've got Oakland at home and Pittsburgh and Washington and Chicago. You don't have a team who is anywhere near your level until you get to San Francisco in June. And if you are the Braves, over the next 20 games, you've got to take advantage.
You really need to put the hammer down right here.
I mean, this is the time that you have to make your run to get either even or ahead of everybody in this division, because you've got a serious schedule lag as far as competition is concerned. So we'll see what happens.
Well, but as we continue to say that, we talked about Boston being a get right series, and we saw what happened in the first game. Again, could have gotten a sweep this weekend, didn't play out. And you got to be concerned right now about when you're going to get Acuna back from the groin.
The positive is that, from what I understand, it wasn't anything that was going to keep him out. He's day to day, so let's hope that stays, and give him some time. We don't have to rush him back at this point.
Well,
if you're,
you don't necessarily have. You gotta get this offense stabilized from somewhere.
Well, at this point, it would be great to have him, and we're probably going to end up having to play him more than we maybe want to. But I'm curious to see how they take care of his body, and let's just hope that it's able to handle the stress over the next month and a half, because we could certainly use him against those teams that we ought to be pounding. So
sure,
I keep saying we like I'm on the team, but I'm not. Anyway, we've got a great second half coming your way. Unfortunately, we just learned that Josh Corey will not be able to be with us to talk girls flag football in the second half. So we've got plenty of other things to get to, and we will do that. So stick around.
But first, we're going to wedge in this week, this day in Braves history.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. On May 16th, 1997, Michael Tucker's 2-out double in the ninth breaks up Alan Bennis's no-hitter. Bennis, unfortunately, is matched against Greg Maddux, who holds the Cardinals scoreless for 8 innings. The Braves finally push across a run in the 13th on Andrew Jones's infield dribbler to beat reliever John Frescatore 1-0. The two teams combined for 33 strikeouts, 3 shy of matching a National League record for an extra inning game that had been set by the Giants and Mets in 23 innings in 1964. So,
had they played 23, they probably would have set that record, Mo.
Oh, it sounds like it wouldn't even been close. Yeah.
Well, speaking of no-hitters, how do you throw a no-hitter and get beat? Check on your Reds friends. They need you today.
They are not well. They are not well at all. Yeah.
All right. We are going to take a halftime break. Come back here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be back after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Mo, I don't know if you saw this or not. Was staying in baseball for just a second. Did you see the Royals fired their hitting coach? No? He may be frozen, JP. JP, did you see that the Royals fired their hitting coach?
I did not.
The Royals hitting coach, Terry Bradshaw, has been fired.
Terry Bradshaw.
I don't know that I would have hired
Terry Bradshaw?
I don't know that I would have hired Terry Bradshaw to be my hitting coach. No, it's not the Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think Mo's back with us.
He is.
I hope I'm back. Yeah. Terry Bradshaw. Huh?
What is Terry Bradshaw doing as the hitting coach?
They shouldn't have hired Terry Bradshaw to start with.
There you go. There you go.
No, this is the other Terry Bradshaw.
I'm not pondering why they fired him. I'm asking why they hired him.
The chicken before the egg conversation, right, Mo?
The firing is not surprising.
No, the hiring is. I mean,
it's clearly not Terry Bradshaw of Steelers fame.
That's like the Pirates hiring Dave Parker as their quarterback coach. I mean, what the heck? What are they doing that at?
No, seriously though, I just thought that was interesting. I saw trending trending in the United States. What is Terry Bradshaw doing? Trending, and then I realized it's not the Terry Bradshaw. It's Royals hitting coach Terry Bradshaw.
TB.
Mentioned earlier, JP, the Vanderbilt caught 2 wins out in Fayetteville over the weekend.
Yeah, number 4 ranked team in the country. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a good job. It was a good job. While they caught 2 wins, an Arkansas fan caught a raccoon in the stands. Did you see this?
No.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, a raccoon shows up in the stands.
Was it?
And
was it new Titans Burks with his knife? Did he he can kill a wild boar?
He must have brought T-Rack.
Is it not boar season?
Yeah.
He brought T-Rack with him, huh? Well, I just said it's too bad that it wasn't a Trash Pandas game because they would have kept him.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
Would have worked out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But instead, get on the front row. He's got a raccoon by the neck like you pick up a cat, and takes it out of the stadium. That's the wildest thing I've ever seen.
Only in Arkansas.
Well, what's really funny is somebody put that video next to a video of 2 guys at a Texas ball game running from a foul ball.
Oh, yeah, that's the difference.
Be like the Arkansas fan,
yeah.
No doubt. All right, let's get out of here. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, the second half of Main Street Sports Today is coming at you. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Second half action of Main Street Sports today. We've got a little audible as Josh Corey has a conflict, so he won't be with us today. I'm sure we'll chat with him soon about girls flag football. But NBA reaction, it is Reaction Monday, so plenty to get into. The Grizzlies are out. We've got both the Western and the Eastern Conference finals in the NBA now set for later this week. Also, Gene Smith, sweeping changes in NCAA Division I. Oh, we love these kind of stories. Always talking about what could be. And coming up, little high school action as region tournaments getting underway today in baseball and softball. So all that coming up. But we take you back now to the Hall of Famer Bo Patton and Sundrop Kid from Alabama, who is like the Arkansas fan and would grab that raccoon by the neck and take it out.
So, a funny story.
Yes. Oh, there's one here. Oh, here we go, Mo. Of course there is.
I received a text message from my wonderful wife.
She's actually the one that probably would grab it and
with a photograph of some raccoon droppings on our porch.
Oh, nice.
Recently.
Oh, so we may get to test this theory after all.
It's very possible. When we were trying to catch the skunk from under the house, we caught 3 raccoons.
Okay.
So.
How do we know they're raccoon droppings?
She Googled it. She Googled
just by the
types of animal. It's very, very distinct.
Okay.
It looks like black beans.
Stop.
Here, JP, you want to throw it up on the screen? I can
stop.
Black beans?
I'm kidding. It's a wild. It's very distinct.
Okay.
Look.
I'm gonna take your word for it, and I'm gonna
just trust me.
I am. I
absolutely
am.
There is a way to know, and we do in fact know.
Okay. Right, there you go.
That's fine. Okay. Now,
yeah, that's all you had to say.
It's my fault. I started this.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been testing Sarah's knowledge of animal droppings, Mo. She's clearly an expert in the matter.
Hey, but before we get away from Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of animal droppings, go ahead.
So
I don't know, it just sounded right.
The Kansas City Royals' new hitting coach, former Nashville Sounds pitcher Alex Zumwalt, who combined with Carlos Villanueva and Mike Myers on a combined no-hitter in 2006 against Memphis. So.
I definitely thought it was going to be Cliff Stout.
Stouting up, baby.
Understandable. Who's the kid from Sanford? Duck.
Yeah, that's all I know him by is Duck.
Yeah. No, so former pitcher, now hitting coach.
Well, if anybody knows how to hit pitchers, it's probably a pitcher. I guess. I don't know. It's
on paper, it doesn't sound, when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound that crazy. You're right. I mean, who knows? It's like a quarterback as a former quarterback as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Who knows what a quarterback's thinking better than a quarterback?
I don't think it's quite the same, but okay. I guess we'll find out. Keep an eye on the Royals.
I was fishing there, Mo.
It can't
throwing the line out there.
Well, I mean, it can't be better. It can't be any worse than hiring a former quarterback as your
hitting coach. I guess
that's right. Former NFL Hall of Famer as your He didn't coach.
I mean, anyway, yeah. So speaking of coaches, I hesitate because I want to say that Taylor Jenkins did a phenomenal job with the Memphis Grizzlies this year. All year long, this team was exciting to watch. They're young, they're exciting, they're really good, and they're well coached for the most part. But there's no question that the Memphis Grizzlies got out adjusted in this second round series against the Golden State Warriors. And a lot of that goes to the experience that one Steve Kerr and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry have. But if you give up 70 rebounds, you got out efforted. And I don't care who you are or what you say, this team got out efforted on Friday night. 70 rebounds. Is that a record? Does anybody know?
It's a lot. I doubt it's a record, but it's a lot.
That's a lot of rebounds. I mean, well, that's a lot of missed shots.
Well, and from both teams, neither team was really. I think Golden State had 48 offensive rebounds, more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. I know that. That's a problem. Now, is that experience because position and knowledge is more valuable necessarily sometimes than brute strength? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
I don't know what you would necessarily attribute that to, but I do think that there is a real difference in playoff basketball and regular season basketball, and I think
no question there.
I think there's another level of effort and physicality, and on a consistent basis, I'm not sure that Memphis was quite ready for that.
The thing is, when in the games they were most physical were the games they won. Now,
so there you go.
But officiating absolutely had a lot to do with their level of physicality, because there were in game 1 specifically and in game 4 when they also got out rebounded and out efforted on loose balls, etc. They were not the beneficiary of a lot of officials 50-50 calls, say that. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. And you have to adjust to that in the playoffs and experience of having been there and winning championships. The Warriors understand that, and that's where they sit. Now that Phoenix is gone and Dallas is moving on, Golden State has the home court in the next series in the Western Conference Finals. And I mean, I'm not sure I would have wanted to see Luka, but here they are.
I'm not sure anybody wants to see Luka.
No, he may be the best player remaining in the playoffs. Overall,
who would you think might be better?
Now with the Bucks out,
with Giannis gone, yeah,
with Giannis gone,
Luka's definitely playing the best of any individual player right now.
I think when you consider who's left, I mean, you're talking about, again, Golden State, Dallas, Boston, and Miami.
I mean, maybe Draymond, but Draymond can't do the things that Luka does.
I mean, Draymond has a special skill set, but he can't do what Luka does. No, I mean, Jason Tatum at Boston.
I don't think,
but I don't. I think
there's
the line
nobody.
forms behind Luka, and I get that you were probably just kind of qualifying that, but I don't think you have to.
No,
I think
don't
of who's
so either.
left, he's probably the best player or playing the best.
Well, I'll tell you, speaking of playing the best, Grant Williams, former 2-time SEC Player of the Year from the University of Tennessee, played pretty darn well in Game 7, didn't he?
Apparently.
7 made 3-pointers.
That's not nothing.
Zach Womble is going, yeah, wish you'd have done that in the NCAA tournament. Wouldn't have to have this Rick Barnes conversation every year.
Oh, good Lord. Don't get Zach started on Rick. Yeah.
But I am absolutely shocked that the Boston Celtics have eliminated the Bucks, and equally as shocked that Chris Paul and Phoenix are not moving on. I'm a little worried that if Dallas and Boston end up in the finals, it may be boring television for the week and a half that the finals go on.
They do know how to stretch it out, don't they?
The NBA and the NHL can stretch some playoffs now.
I think they're taking
the most engaging thing.
I think they're taking their scheduling techniques from which district was it?
District 12A? Yeah, 12AA. Basketball.
10AA.
Yeah, that's it. And it had the 5 teams play for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Seriously, but it's the most engaging thing that the NBA and the NHL have as far as a national audience is concerned.
And they're going to ring it out.
And I think it's cool that you have one game a night, one or two, one game every night. Make it appointment television. You get to watch all of the games. I don't have to choose between the two. That's kind of nice. I'm not going to say that it's not, but it is a little interesting that a 7-game series can be played over
2 weeks,
12 days.
Yeah.
So go figure. Anyway, Grant Williams played fantastic. The Celtics eliminate the Bucks. So the conference finals are now set as they will play for the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird conference final trophies. Is that, didn't we came up with that, right? That's what it is. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, gotta love it. The Heat and Celtics will play tomorrow. Warriors and Mavericks on Wednesday, and then every other day from there on out. So should be fun. Heat and Celtics. Didn't see that coming.
No, I don't think anybody did. I mean, certainly Kyrie and KD didn't see it coming.
No, absolutely not. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk about what Ohio State Athletics Director Gene Smith thinks should happen with Division I in regards to the NCAA. So it's interesting to say the least. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint, comes back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit customstonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant with you here, coming to you from both Columbia and Franklin, Tennessee. Glad to be with you. Glad to have you. Before we get into Ohio State and Gene Smith, Mo, it has been made official that Yaroslav Askarov has been signed to
Well done. You deserve bells for that one.
3-year entry-level contract that will begin in 22-23 year. The Predators all of a sudden have 3 pretty darn good goalies. And you're talking about a guy who is a Vezina Award finalist in UC Saros, Connor Ingram, who is
what trophy?
Vezina.
Vezina. See, you nailed the name.
Yeah,
and that's all right.
It's kind of like Shelbyville.
It is. Yeah, although Mo, he practiced the entire break on that name, and he came through. I'm proud of him.
Well, it showed.
Yeah, it did.
Someone spelled it out phonetically on Twitter.
Okay.
So that
helps
because it's spelled IAROSLAV.
Okay.
SLAV.
Yeah.
So
all right,
you've got Connor Ingram, who is cleaning up the AHL. UC Saros in his first full year.
Yeah.
Finalist for the best goal in the league, led the league in wins.
Yep.
And now you've got a kid who's I don't know what you do with 3 goalies in 4 years when those 4 are.
Yeah.
You
can't leave them in Milwaukee forever.
Well,
Right.
you put those three guys' pictures and a picture of David Rittich up, and you play that Sesame Street song. One of these things is not like the others. So
there's that. Anyway, I thought there's something about the Preds being able to sign goaltenders. So I guess that's a good thing.
We've got good scouting.
Especially, when your defense is as bad as it is, you got to have good goaltenders.
You do. You get a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Right, Mo, practice makes perfect. Is that
perfect practice makes perfect, as a coaching friend told me once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect practice. Yeah. Yeah. You practice the wrong thing. You guess what you're going to do in the game?
Mm-hmm.
The
wrong thing.
So,
well,
anyway.
Ohio State Athletics Director Gene Smith thinks that the NCAA has been practicing far too long with far too many teams. 352 current Division I schools. It's, quote, been our problem for years, end quote. He shared this in an interview with Athletic Director U, and I'm sure that he didn't think it was going to get the play that it has certainly gotten to this point. But he thinks that, obviously FBS schools, there are 130 FBS playing schools, and the others obviously are FCS. He said when you take the 130 as opposed to 352, those 130 who have the same mission and same investment level, you can create your own rules, your recruiting rules, your personnel rules, your calendar, all sorts of things. So basically what he's saying at this point is the FBS schools and those FBS conferences would break off from the NCAA, create their own, I guess, guidelines, and be completely different. But he also says that you can't do that for basketball or Olympic sport competitions because it's too important. And I think that's the problem that you're going to have is football makes sense, but none of the other sports do, Mo.
But just like we've seen here in Tennessee at the high school level with football doing things differently than everybody else, your basketball coaches, your basketball oriented administrators, your fans, that kind of thing are going to say, why can't basketball do that specifically? I mean, I don't think your Olympic sports necessarily would have the issue with it, but I think your basketball, your top tier basketball programs are going to have a problem with that because, I mean, you look at, say, the Big East or the Atlantic 10 or somebody like that, some of these conferences that consider themselves to be Power 6 rather than Power 5, they feel like some of the things that they're doing or the way they want to do business is really inhibited by the NCAA as well. And so I don't know how you get around that. I just don't think that you're going to be able to make that a football only type thing. As much as FBS football folks may feel like that is the ideal, I don't. The devil's going to be in the details, I think. It sounds good. I just don't think you're going to get everybody else to go along with it.
I don't think it. To me, it doesn't sound great. Look, I've long thought the Power 5 was going to break off from the NCAA as a whole completely, and they very well may.
I don't think they can afford to, though, across the board, Chris. I think some of what Gene Smith is saying here makes sense. I think swimming, doesn't work. Tennis, it doesn't work. And so when you start talking,
you got to remember though, basketball and football are what drives everything. And without Kentucky and Kansas, the NCAA tournament isn't going to draw the money that the NCAA tournament draws, right? So
sure.
the new Power 5 conferences that dip out, they're going to get that money.
But that's why I don't know. I don't know. I think that there's something that needs fixing. I think there's a lot that needs paying attention to. And again, for these folks that are crying about NIL and transfer portal and that kind of thing, I think that 130 schools could deal with a lot of that a lot better than the 352.
I don't disagree with that. Obviously, the fewer teams you have, the less you have to, worry about, especially when you're talking about, FBS level institutions who have a much higher budget than those A10 schools that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it becomes the issue. Is if that were to happen, it would effectively kill half of college athletics, because no longer would Davidson, who gets a pretty big chunk of cash because they made the NCAA tournament and they went to the Sweet 16, 1 year or something, no longer are they able to do that because that money's not going to be there, because the A10 is now relegated to NCAA's Division I, which doesn't have a TV deal because nobody cares about Davidson. They care about Kansas and Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's
I mean,
catch 22, really.
It really is. And that's a problem because, the Floridas and the Wichita States kind of need, the Kansas and the Kentuckys, as you put it. So I don't know, but I get where Gene Smith is coming from, that you've got 352 Division I football programs, and and Ohio University and Ohio State swing the same amount of weight when you're voting on different things, and that's kind of tough.
It is tough to take if you're bringing a bigger stick, but the strength of your swing is the same. It's tough to swallow. There's no question there. I'm curious how this is all going to work out. Eventually, there's going to be something that happens with NIL, transfer portal, and FBS, FCS football. But obviously, for now, we just take it as it is and hope the SEC puts out their scheduling format in the next month. If they do, at least we'll have a talking point this summer.
I like the fact that we're moving toward a more wide-ranging realization that something needs to change.
I'll agree with that. I think you're exactly right. It is, and not just that does it need to change, but little things are changing and evolving as we go. And perhaps that's the way we're going to have to do it. Perhaps it's going to have to be, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Perhaps that's the key here is let's just do it slowly but surely instead of trying to overhaul everything. So
yeah,
it's good. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. Speaking of the differences in football and other sports in the TSSAA, baseball and softball are starting their region tournaments today. It's win or go home. Today it's you can lose Wednesday. Then it's win or go home on Friday. So we'll talk a little bit about where local teams stand and what we expect to see next week in Murfreesboro. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, a look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Final segment of this Monday. We've almost made it through. Almost. So close, yet so far away. Mo, before we get into high school sports, I want to quickly mention that I found it interesting that Tennessee State has a new quarterback, and he's coming from just down the road in Clarksville. A former Austin Peay signal caller, Draylon Ellis will replace Jeremy Hickbottom, and this is a pretty big deal. I mean, he was all OVC second teamer, sophomore All-American last year, and leaving Austin Peay to stay in the OVC with Tennessee State.
It's interesting. I mean, I'm not real familiar with him, and I'm not real familiar with TSU's quarterback situation, but I mean, the fact that he played in sophomore All-American, is that what you said? I mean, I didn't realize.
Had nearly 4,000 yards last year and 33 touchdowns against 12 picks. Had 151 yards rushing. So he totaled over, like I said, almost 4,000 total yards. So
that's solid. I don't know what else TSU had coming back at quarterback at this point. So I don't know how he fits in Eddie George's second year.
Devion Bryant is a redshirt junior, along with Clarksville Northeast product Heath William Jr., sorry, no S, and a couple of sophomores, Shio Garnett, Tucker Pope, Edwin Rhodes, and Pearl Collins Martino Owens.
Interesting. Again,
it's a lot of quarterbacks. That's like 7.
And you know what they say: if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. I mean, it'll be good to get him in and get him started and see. I mean, a guy with his credentials isn't coming in there to be anything other than the starter, I don't think. So, and what? He's got 2 years left, I guess. So
I can tell you this. Mm-hmm. I saw him play as a freshman at Jacksonville State, and he absolutely destroyed Jacksonville State, both through the air and on the ground. A big arm, makes good decisions, and has the ability to give himself extra time. He's not really a runner, but he has the ability to get out of the pocket or to move the pocket effectively. And so I think he's going to be a big addition for Eddie George. I really do.
And 47 passing yards, 12 touchdowns a year ago. So it sounds as if, statistically anyway, he's a little bit of an upgrade. Yeah. Ellis led the OVC in total offense, total passing.
Interesting. Ellis was the guy, and so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a positive to see a new quarterback at Tennessee State, especially a guy who can make those plays. And again, Austin Peay, I'm not sure. I don't think they don't move to out of the conference this year, do they? It's next year, right?
I
think it's next year.
Beats me.
So
I don't know.
TSSAA getting started with regional tournaments in both baseball and softball today. Again, we told you the schedule and the rundown. I'm looking forward to a lot of these. Ravenwood, Brentwood is specifically an interesting matchup because they are in opposite districts. So those two teams playing for the right to continue their season mode is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you have spiced up the Battle of the Woods for sure when it's a win or go home situation there, and that's what you got at Brentwood at 6:30 tonight. So that'll definitely bear watching. In Region 5 2A, as JP mentioned in the rundown, Summertown and Loretto got their district finished up yesterday afternoon. Summertown winning 12-1 in softball action. So they turn around and both of them play today. Harpeth comes to Summertown and Loretto is at Cheatham County, both 6 o'clock games. And
Summertown had to win the if necessary game to win
right.
that district.
They did. That was yesterday at 2:30 was the if necessary game. So wouldn't surprise you to see Summertown and Loretto yet again on Wednesday in the region finals. So
yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting. And they match up with I'm not sure who they match up with out of that, but I can tell you that softball, Loretto.
You mean in the sectionals?
Right.
Yeah, they will match up with Region 6. It'll be 5 and 6.
Gotcha. So it's going to be Camden, Huntingdon, Westview, and Stewart County.
Yeah.
That's it certainly looks like you could see both Summertown and Loretto back in Murfreesboro for a second year in a row. That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Outside of that, I'm looking at this Eagleville team having to go to Wayne County. Now, that was a big surprise to me because I thought Eagleville was going to walk to the 1A state championship, and they're having to travel in a win-or-go-home situation today.
I'm not that well versed on 1A softball at this point, so I'm just going to defer to you on that one.
Based off what we saw last year, Eagleville had the 2 freshman pitchers who were just fantastic, and had it not been for Claire Woods at Summertown, they probably win the state championship. And so which I know obviously Huntland very good at softball. They beat Brentwood a couple weeks ago. So I mean that region right there is going to be tough to get out. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a big day for softball across the mid-state specifically. Dixon County's at home against Clarksville. Summit is at Franklin. Obviously, Summit having to come back to defeat Columbia Central last week, and in Columbia Central's year, and then falling to Nolensville in an 18-hour marathon
in a 2-day affair. Yeah,
in a 2-day affair. So softball is certainly going to be top of mind for me. Now, baseball, Fairview's at Loretto. It's not where you want to be if you're Fairview. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Or anybody else, really.
No doubt. Nobody wants to go to Loretto if you don't have to. Culleoka at Eagleville. Again, mentioned that Ravenwood-Brentwood game. Centennial is at Summit tonight. That's a little bit of surprise, Mo, that Summit comes out as the district champion there.
I don't know that that's necessarily a surprise. I mean, they were the number 1 seed going into the tournament, so they've been playing some pretty good ball. The surprise is Centennial having to go on the road after winning that district during the regular season. Yeah. So
and losing, in fact, both the championship and the if necessary game as well.
What happened? No, Centennial did not even make the finals, but that district incentivizes a regular season championship by assuring them of a region berth.
So that's right.
It was Franklin and Brentwood in the finals in 11-4A.
That's right. It sure was. I forgot that they do that. That is
Not every district handles that the same way, but that's what they voted to do, and it's a good thing for the Cougars, apparently.
Because that's right. They will be the number 2 seed and ensured a spot in the region tournament. So again, region tournament starting today. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll tell you the scores and give you the updates.
Want to mention one thing before we get out of here. Apparently, Cornersville has a new football coach. Former Hazel Green offensive coordinator Shelby Waddell has been named to succeed Gerard Randolph, who left the Bulldogs to take a spot on the Marshall County coaching staff a few weeks ago. So Donovan Stewart has more on that at mainstreetpreps.com, so be sure and check that out. But
is that our second Hazel Green reference today?
It is. It is.
Look, boy, Hazel Green, Alabama. We might as well just get an affiliate down there.
There you go.
We're talking all about the Trojans today.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for this Monday edition. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Don't forget MainStreetMurray.com and MainStreetPreps.com for all of your area high school sports news. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we will talk to you tomorrow. For JP and Mo, I'm Chris Yousing. Have a great day. We'll see you then.